Well, I think I solved my problem. This ain't gonna work for me. Well, I hope everybody's doing good today. Um, it's been a interesting day. One of my favorite drummers that I had the joy of working with for many years, Neil Wilkinson, lives in London, and we worked with Veronique Sanson for like 13 years together, touring in France. And I love Neil, and he called me, and I did a Zoom, um, like a big group. It was all drummers for the most part. Um, this morning, and they were all, I don't know where everybody was from. I don't know if they were all from the UK or Europe, or where some of them were from, but just kind of talking to Neil, and he was showing different drum things, different techniques, and then we got into a whole discussion and did a nice Q&A for like a couple hours, and it was really, really, really fun. I really enjoyed it, and I love those kind of things. Q&A for me, it's like if I go to a clinic. um, I'm not really fond of playing at clinics. I remember there was one at the base. There used to be a base center here in Los Angeles, and I remember going there once. And I looked at the room, and it was the same response that I had when I did a master class at Berkeley. And I kind of look around the room. I go, God, most of you guys would probably scare the crap out of me, chops wise. There's just a dedication, in this thing to playing. So for me, I always try to steer the clinics towards questions and answers, because for me, my life really as a player really comes alive when the red light comes on or when the count off hits on stage. Then I go into my zone and I'm there. But just to kind of sit and show what I do, I it's not my comfort zone. But hold on, I'm going to lower this just a little bit in there. But the question and answer stuff I find really engaging. And I remember doing a clinic where they said, if you could just put together like an hour would be great. And we sat there talking for 5 hours. There's so many questions, and every question opens up a whole other train of thought and stuff. So it was fun. And then our immediate family website just started today, just came online today. I will get you the information on that if you want to come and join us on our website. I think it's the Immediate Family Band .com, but I'm gonna check. I don't want to misdirect anybody. And I'm filming right now, and the information is on my phone. So kind of a catch-22 situation here. So I'll get it to you tomorrow. And I'd love for anybody that's out there to please come and join us on our site and get information. And we're posting videos, and there'll be upcoming gigs and information about the upcoming album and the documentary movie and all that stuff. But I just finished a really wonderful interview where everybody in the group's been interviewed. I was the last guy to be interviewed, and we just finished that. And it's fun. I mean, I really kind of enjoy these trips down memory lane because you kind of live in the moment, and you forget where the moment came from and all this. So doing this site's been really kind of eye-opening for me, just to kind of go review things that I haven't thought about in a long time. And I'll tell you, I was so tickled last night when I was reading the comments that people were sending in about the section songs that I played. And the thing that was great was the section. We did 3 albums. The stuff that I played was from our first album, and I was just out. I took a break, and I went out, and I was just lifting some really huge concrete pots. And I think I'm not going to play today. I'll take it easy for the rest of the day, and just tweaked a little bit there. And but what I thought I'd do is I'd play a couple more section songs from the first album. And also, I'm not a fan. If somebody says to me, "We'd love for you to play a solo," now I peruse YouTube all the time, and I see amazing, amazing bass solos on there. And I saw Jaco play, and I saw John Entwistle play, and I've seen Paul McCartney and stuff. But when it comes to me, when it comes to doing a bass solo, it is not what I like to do. I usually kind of avoid it like the plague if I can get away with it. But when we did our second section album, it's called Forward Motion. And if you ever get a copy of it, you will notice that it's just like one of the worst album covers, because they rushed it. They on the first one we took time with it, and on the third album we really took time with Dave Willardson, who was one of the kings of the poster movement too, and did this absolutely stunning airbrush cover. But on the second album we had to do it, so they just took a picture of us playing live, but the format didn't fit the album square format, so they cut out the lighting that was in the photograph of us and doubled it, put it on top. So it's like, it's a little cheesy, but the music isn't cheesy. It's just the album jacket was a little bit on the cheese side. But the guys said, "Oh, you got to do a solo on this." So I'll play you what I chose to do as a bass solo. I'll explain it when we get to there. But I just thought I would play a couple more of the songs from our first section album, because I'm really, really proud of this. And this was really the foundation for so much that I've gone through for the rest of my career, all the way up and culminating at this point with the Immediate Family, even though the Immediate Family is not the section, and there should never be a misunderstanding, because Craig Durgee's not involved with us in this. There's no keyboards in the Immediate Family. And there's other people involved with Waddy and Steve Postel that were not in the section but are in the Immediate Family. But it's a family. It's a family unit. But the songs I'm going to play on Michael Brecker, one of the greatest saxophone players that ever lived, is on this with us. So I really want to play this. And this song that I'm going to do right now is, I'll start with this one. It's called "Doing the Meatball." That is the beauty of instrumental music, because you can call it anything you want. So I'm going to play you this one, and then there's one after this, and then I'll explain my bass solo to you. And I'll be back playing tomorrow. Today just turned into like way too much stuff going on here, and I'm just, I would be not doing myself any favors of trying to figure something out and then sucking. So here's "Doing the Meatball." Michael Brecker. God, he's great. Michael Brecker, God, what a loss when that gentleman passed. He was one of the most remarkable musicians I ever worked with. And I've saved every email we ever sent to each other. You know, I miss him so much. But so that's him. And then the next song, like another one of those things where it's instrumental, so you can call it what you want. This is called Holy Frijoles. Dig this one. This is really fun. Craig Dougherty, give me a break. So it brings back such memories. It feels like yesterday, yet we were like kids. I mean, we were just like in our early 20s when we recorded all this. And it was an amazing time. It was just the energy in the studio. Everything was really live. I mean, we're just like, no baffles, just going for it in there. And I just look back so fondly on this. I'm really glad this was part of my life. So to get down to a solo now, I ended up doing this solo on our second album. And at the time I was a big fan of like the San Francisco like comic book scene, Zap Comics and a lot of R. Crumb and stuff. And there was a character, a famous poster character named Wonder Warthog, and his sidekick was Piltdown Pig. And I ended up calling this solo Get Down, Piltdown. I don't know why. It's instrumental. I can do whatever I want. But I ended up just going for it. I plugged in. I had a bunch of Dan Armstrong used to make these little boxes you could plug into your instrument. The Red Ranger, the Yellow Humper, the Purple Peaker, the God, it's a whole bunch. And I used to plug like about 5 of these things into my bass and flip them on at different times for octave dividers and overdrive. And I had my old Echoplex on it with the tape Sound Down Sound. This is all pretty primitive. This is back, early 70s. Got my volume pedal out and just went for it. And the weird thing is, yesterday I was dicking around here on YouTube, and I found it. I found the solo from our second section album, Forward Motion. So I'm going to apologize in advance for what you're about to hear, but I ended up doing this live, and it got really insane live, and really messed with some people's heads in concert. But let me just do it. I'll get this done here. But this is my idea when everybody does their really cool musical bass solos. This is where I came from. It's all live, one take. And I don't do drugs. I loved Hendrix. The thing that was great was, a while back, I found my old Echoplex, and the Sound on Sound that I did on that was still on the tape, and I was listening to it. It flipped me right out. It was really a hoot. But when I used to do it live, it got really intense and just over the top. And there's a live performance of it somewhere. If I ever find it, I'll hide it. So, God, it looks dark in here. Hold on. That's a little better. I'm still trying to work on it. Wishing everybody a good weekend here. I will play. Hands are really sore from this concrete. One of the issues that I've got, I might do one of these discussions about playing in pain and dealing with pain issues, because for me it's chronic, and I'll explain about that maybe down the pike a little bit, but aggravated a little bit of it today, so that's why I decided just to visit the section again here. And I'm going to dig up the second and third section albums too, and share some of the songs with you on those, because I'm really so proud of them, and really, like I said, that's was sort of the foundation of everything that came afterwards, was playing with these guys, Cooch and Russ and Craig. And Michael, and then Jim Horn played sax with us on an album, and it was a pretty magical time in our lives. So have a great weekend. I'm going to chill for a moment here and then figure out some other thing to get into trouble doing. I seem to be good at that. And giving my daily shout out to all you hardworking souls out there that are just trying to keep this world as safe and sane as possible. It's pretty nuts. So thanks for everything. I love having you here. I love being here. And like I said, I read all the comments, and I'm going to address a whole bunch of things that are on there. But there's a lot of song requests. Some I will do, and some are just not really playable under these circumstances, the way they were recorded. It would be too shocking to do it this way. So take good care, and I will see you tomorrow. So wishing all the very best. Off.